Hey, what's up everybody? 8-Bit Flashback here. Well, we have a new competitor that's going to be joining the mini retro gaming console craze, and that is Konami. I do a lot of custom console builds for entertainment and hobby purposes, mainly with the use of 3D printers. And a little over a year ago, I made a full-size PC Engine, a mini TurboGrafx-16, and a mini PC Engine that are completely functional and powered by Raspberry Pis with functional HuCard cartridges. And these are items I make for my own personal use. I don't sell these. I'm just a huge fan of retro gaming, and these were some of the miniature consoles I desired, and at the time they didn't exist in a miniature form. And these ended up turning out pretty decent looking after a lot of hard work, but they still have imperfections, and they're not an official product. But now, Konami, who now owns the rights to these retro gaming consoles, is going to be releasing the official TurboGrafx-16 Mini and PC Engine Mini. So now everyone is going to have their chance to own miniature versions of these awesome retro consoles. The PC Engine was originally released in 1987 in Japan to compete with the original NES. And the TurboGrafx-16 was released in 1989 in the US, and it was designed to compete with the NES as well, but it ended up competing with the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. It was the first console released in the 16-bit era, although it only used an 8-bit CPU. It ultimately ended up failing in the race for number one between Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. But the PC Engine and TurboGrafx-16 are still awesome consoles with great games that are a huge part of gaming history. These miniature consoles are a faithfully scaled down version of the original consoles, right down to the smallest detail. But the controllers are still the original size, allowing for the exact same gameplay experience. Now, we don't have a lot of details yet about these miniature consoles, but they did give us some information on their website. It will have save game features, so there'll be a quick save function that will allow you to save the game at any point during the game. There's also going to be various different display modes, and one of them is going to be 4:3, I would assume the other one's going to be 16:9, and you're also going to have the option to replicate scan lines if you choose to. There's also going to be accessories you can buy separately, like the 5-player multi-tap that allow you to connect up to 5 different controllers so you can play simultaneously. And maybe there might be other add-ons in the future as well, like this CD add-on. How cool would that be? So for the TurboGrafx-16, they've announced 6 different titles so far. And for the PC Engine, they've also announced 6 different titles, but the lineup is a little bit different. But for myself, I will end up buying both of these consoles, so whatever gaming lineups there are, if one's better than the other, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to get both of these. And there's also going to be a European version known as the PC Engine Core Graphics Mini. And they've announced 6 titles for that as well, and that seems to be the same exact lineup as the US version. Now so far I've not heard what the price is going to be. Hopefully it's going to be reasonable, somewhere around $60 would be nice. Also, I've heard nothing yet for what the release date will be, but I would assume it's going to release within the next year. And there's still a lot of other questions left out there, like how many games will it have in total? How many controllers will it come with? What's the hardware going to be? What's it going to be using? Will it be using a third-party emulator? And there's a lot of other questions out there that we'll have to patiently wait for. Now, from what I can tell, these miniature consoles do not seem to use any type of HuCards. The games will more than likely be built in, just like the other miniature consoles out there. And judging by the pictures, it looks like each console has 2 USB ports on the front of it, so it should support 2-player mode, hopefully, because I know the original consoles only supported 1 player without the multi-tap, so hopefully they didn't make that same mistake twice, and we have 2-player without having that multi-tap. But that multi-tap accessory will be nice for the games that have 3 players or more. Okay, it's time for me to get out of here, but I would like to hear your thoughts on these mini consoles that are going to be coming out. Are you excited? Do you not care? Can you not wait for it? Let me know and leave some comments down below. Have yourself a great day, and I'll see you next time.